Meanwhile, so I missed a little bit of what's been going on in asyx. He did find, although I do see him just find the half magic in the C-shaped house.
Nothing of real consequence so far. He's probably going to make his dip into Thieves Town, and from his tracker, it looks like Thieves Town is one of the 5/6 crystals, along with Misery Mire.
We'll wait to get a full map check here to confirm details on that for sure. Viper King still wandering around. Not sure he recognized that Aghanim is probably the play that he needs to make right now. I'm not sure what locations, if any, he does have left to do in the light world.
Meanwhile, asyx just picked up the silvers in Thieves Town.
Always definitely nice to see those silvers. One less thing to worry about in the future. Although with Tempered Sword, if you're confident with your strats, it's pretty simple to take down Ganon with it, with just Tempered and Silverless. Viper King up by Death Mountain entrance again. Yeah, I think unfortunately Viper King not recognizing the Aghanim play as what to do. asyx picking up that heart there. Like leaving that heart for later as much as you can, but when you're as low as when you're at only 2.5 hearts as asyx was at that moment, he did pick up the heart beside the key along the blind hallway there. Going to use the hook shot to get through the rooms after that fairly quickly here. Great item for both just getting those iframes as well as hook shotting to the statues to move around the room a little bit faster. Try to powder the anti-fairy. Those starfish wanted him though. He managed to avoid it, but so he's got full health now. Meanwhile, Viper King is on to the Aghanim play, so he will be proceeding the seed from there. All right, I think we're getting some back here. asyx up has opened the blind hole and found the compass in the chest up beside it. Not too much of note there.
He's hoping that the key is going to be locked in the big chest, because with version 29, you could have a small key locked in the big key chest and it wouldn't break any of the logic of the dungeon. So
yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, so asyx is going into that room. We're about to get a moment of truth of if it's the small key. It is not. So, interesting little note to make as of here then, is that Blind cannot have the hammer or nothing. Blind cannot have the hammer, but more importantly, the Pyramid Fairy cannot have the hammer at this. Because if the Pyramid Fairy were to have the hammer, it would be possible to soft lock or to key lock Thieves Town if you use the key from under the pot to get to the first chest, or to the big chest. And given that Misery Mire was the other, if we do confirm that it is the other 5/6 crystal, it was possible that the hammer could have been there other than that fact. Meanwhile, of course, Viper King on his way up the tower here. proceeding through the combat rooms fairly simply.
Absolutely, and asyx used the cave shots at the end there. Was running a little low on hearts and just want to make sure to get those last few swings in to finish off this fight.
Of course, Cape not even using that much magic now that we have the half. We'll still guzzle the magic, but with half magic gives us a nice long buffer time. Hookshot catching that invisible barrier that always likes to troll our ranged weapons there. asyx onto the digging game here. Finding a whole bunch of pots of magic, which aren't that helpful after you just got a full magic refill from a dungeon.
Having to work for it here. A lot of digs going on.
That was near cap, that's for sure.
And all for just a +5 bomb upgrade.
Viperking deciding to use some bugnet strats here. Get some swagging him in for all the viewers.
A bottle of green goo in south of Haunted Grove Ledge.
Getting Aga down with the Swaggin' strats. Yes, there's our confirmation. With 5 and 6 crystals being Thieves Town and or Misery Mire, sorry. I believe that was a pendant Turtle Rock as well.
That's what it looked like to me as well, so.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, asyx making his way over to Dark World Hype Cave and not getting any progression items. There could be a possibility that something is in this cave.
For Poker Nate, yes, Viper did check Sick Kid. Sick Kid has the single arrow.
And a third bottle so far.
The bow, the Titan's mitts. This is Hype Cave.
And that's what we were waiting for, and giving a few cheers right there, asyx. Either cheers or frustration. Finally finding some progression.
Definitely puts some solid, gives you some solid things to work on. Also opens up a lot at once to a degree. Giving you the ability to do Eastern Palace, Palace of Darkness. And the other problem is that, of course, it does put a little bit more emphasis on potentially Ice Palace being a play. Now, we can't get into Ice Palace yet without either Fire Rod or Bombos, but still on the minds, I'm sure, of the runners. Although, we're also still hammerless, so we'll see exactly where everyone decides to make their plays. asyx does look like he's going to go ahead and make a play up to Dark Death Mountain, while Viperking is going to go for the pod check, which may be lucrative here. It may also be immediately bow locked, though.
Yeah, if he would have made his way down south, he would have had the items he could to really delve into this dungeon, and
well, no simple way to get down south. Down south means doing a full Dark World loop. And so you're not doing a simple full Dark World loop. asyx on his way up Super Bunny Cave, about to hit the chest. We'll see what we get in those, as Viper King does head into the front of pod here. Super Bunny has the red mail and the hammer. Ooh. We are asyx finding all the progression real fast.
Depending on progression, we might be looking at just one or two more items, no, 2 or 3 more items, and we could possibly be in gold one. We the cane, the flute, and maybe the boots, if depending on Desert Palace, and the flippers.
Well, we need the right metal as well.
True. Okay, a little bit more. So
there's the flute though. The flute in Hookshot Cave. Not a lot else, but we did get the flute in Hookshot Cave.
And that's Ether for T-Rock, even though T-Rock is definitely a pendant. Ether was on Hylia Island.
Nice powder there by Viper King. I'm not sure if we're going to see we might see a potion glitch coming up here. Nope, we're gonna get some frustration here instead. There it is. So he did have the potion, of course, I believe. Did he have a Actually, I don't know what's in this bottle. What is in this bottle? Either way, looks like we have both runners back on stream now. Where are we going to, asyx? We're going to activate the flute, of course. Why wouldn't we? Then I expect we'll probably likely immediately go to the mire area. Both to determine what medallion we need to complete the seed, as well as just it's often a good idea to go to mire area very quickly once you have access to it.
Absolutely. I mean, he could dip into mire without the cane, couldn't finish it, but at least to get some items in there if he wants to not double dip at all.
Well, and the only way he could do that is if he finds the medallion in the mire area.
Absolutely, of course.
Viper King trying to get to Graveyard Ledge. Not quite aware of the routing that he needs to do to get there. Just abandons it for now. There's asyx picking up his single arrow from the sick kid. Gonna do a quick desert check first. Or maybe that was a missed jump there. Maybe he was getting a little overexcited. Not sure. Might have just wanted to find out what that ledge item was more quickly. Of course, we will likely get a Desert Palace clear out of this play as well.
Yeah, definitely. If at least a dip, unless it's boots locked.
Yeah, if it see what the medallion is. It is Bombos. So we do have Bombos on Mire and Ether on Turtle Rock. So there's a possibility of a medallion on the pedestal for sure.
Mire Shed not having anything consequence here.
I didn't really thought too much about pedestal, but I don't think there's much that could be on there aside from boots and the medallion. Yeah, we've already found so much of the rest anyways. And flippers are required for Ice Palace, and fire rods required for Skull Wood. So yeah, I think we're pretty much down to those sort of very one-off items.
The only other thing I think could be the book itself, which would lead to one of those items being on the tablets.
Right, and that, yeah, always the fetch quest option, for sure. And Viperking making his dip into Thieves Town. asyx not making a play on Desert at all while he was in the area.
Opting for the pod play. With hammer and bow in hand, he will be able to full clear this.
Yeah, not checking pod at all is, or not checking Desert at all is interesting to me, by virtue of, unless it's boots locked, there's not really a reason to put it off, as it is still 2 item locations and a crystal. But
he probably figures since he has to come down that way anyway from Mire, he could do the quick Mire Desert play. That could be going through his mind.
Perhaps, yeah. Oh no, we lost Kiki. Quick, go get Kiki again. Viperking, of course, quickly make his way through to Thieves Town. We got bunnied.
Kiki's a skittish little monkey.
Interesting that Kiki doesn't mind getting smacked by monsters, but as soon as we do, he'll run away. asyx, of course, is going to quickly make his way through pod, and as we mentioned before, since he does have the bow, we'll have no problem just being able to go ahead and just continue through this section. Won't need use of the potion glitch that was made available shortly before this tourney started, as it is a viable minor glitch.
There's something to say about finding glitches so late on for a game that came out over 25 years ago.
It happens. It especially happens more as games become more prominent once again. Happens with a fair number of games that are... A lot of these games that you sort of think have been broken since ever are actually broken years and years after they were ever created. It's those Bethesda games that get broken immediately that everyone's like, yeah, those games must be broken immediately.
Absolutely. You know, finding any glitches in games is always, I find, an interesting play. You know, it just goes to show that, you know, some of the things hidden in the code or something that, you know, the devs never thought to think about.
Yeah. asyx here deciding that he wants to deal with the front before the back. No big key makes that definitely a stronger play. You don't want to jump to the back too fast. I expect, though, with how the key allocation's gone, I expect the big key actually likely is towards the back of pod right now, though. I don't know enough about the pod key logic in that side of things. But I believe given only the one small key on that side, maybe, or these might all be small keys would be the other thing that might happen.
Yeah, that could have been spending a small key to get a small key here.
Yeah. Yeah, because the problem is, as soon as he gives us the big key, we have access to do everything else. So it can't. It has to be very careful with these. Yeah, that's what I expected. So actually, an odd situation there where we almost could have afforded to. If someone was really familiar with the logic, they may have been able to deduce that all of those were small keys, and actually have skipped like the entire front until they'd finished the back. You got the big key, then yeah, those definitely had to all be small keys then. Yeah, those had to all be small keys if we already have the big key, for sure. So he definitely could have avoided, knowing the logic there, definitely had to have all small keys there, because the game knows that he has access to go to the back in logic already.
See, it's possible that this has a small key in it as well, which it does in logic, because you would need one to open the door to the left, and then one more to open the one in the basement. So I would probably check these down here and see if they were the key. If you got a third key, then that would put an item or dungeon item in that location. So, but nonetheless, it's going to be a full clear here anyway.
So once again, just small optimizations you can make. It's very difficult to keep track of this, especially in the run, where you're probably just as much thinking about where do I go next, especially if I find the item that I expected I'm going to find here. You're not always keeping perfect track of what does the logic within the dungeon say. How can I do this faster? So hard to keep track of that, especially in a situation like that, where you don't end up with all these extra small keys like you normally get after right side.
Absolutely, and while you're talking there, asyx did just pick up the flippers.
Yep. Flipper's putting a lot more in logic. Swamp Palace, definitely a big play right now. Lots of people like to save Swamp Palace till last, though, of course. The problem is that Swamp Palace has the most possible item locations of any dungeon in the game, but it's also one of the biggest differences between Go mode and non-Go mode dungeons in the game as well.
Yeah, that left side Swamp Palace does add a decent amount of time to your run, probably like 2 or 3 minutes. So if you can avoid it, was definitely would like to.
Unfortunately, just that half heart shy of Sword Beam to have the faster basement here. Might get one as a drop off one of the mimics though if he gets lucky.
And Viper King's finally making his way toward his hype cave where he can get his bow and hammer as well.
Yeah, Swamp almost definitely the play that you pretty much have to make at this point, actually. Desert Palace being about the only other play that's really left, I think. Just given our shortage of medallions and rods, it cuts out a lot of the plays that we're used to being able to make at this point right now.
Yeah, logically that's it, because he could get the Ether Medallion, but not having Kane to get into Turtle Rock as a pendant isn't a play as well. So those two most logically, unless he wants to dip Pendant Ice Palace.
Well, and he can't dip Pendant Ice Palace because he doesn't have Fire Rod or Bombos.
As I said it, I looked at his tracker and realized myself.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why I was sort of saying, yeah, the lack of magical items that are not the item that we got from Uncle. Helmets are not playing nice, just giving us 2 fireballs in a row. Gonna go for the silver arrow. No problem, since he just decided to stop and try to spit another fireball at him. Gets the good old compass for his trouble.
And that'd be crystal number 3. So slowly making our crystal progressions here.
Yep. Viper King is going along with the Smith route for the moment. We'll see how that plays out for him. asyx is going to make the play into Eastern Palace. There's the Fire Rod. Viper King finding the Fire Rod from the Smiths.
Which he could now indeed, depending on what he wants to do here, go and finish Skullwoods.
King just missing the mirror spot, unfortunately. There we go. Gonna find out what the magic bat has for him. Might not be real. Oh, he does have Titan's Mitts. Okay. I'm like, wait a second, he has Titan's Mitts. So we'll have to go back and get Dark World access again from north of Kakariko if he wants to still be in the Dark World, which he probably does.
And asyx might clear this dungeon out, especially with Silver Arrows and how fast Armos Knights is a kill. This is the green pendant, and while he's here, he could swing over to Sarashva and see if he has an item for him.
Yeah, I do believe we have already emptied the dungeon of items, unfortunately. But that being said, asyx doesn't know that regardless because he hasn't been in here at all yet. Viper King may also be making the play to Eastern, but of course he also doesn't have the flute, so he may just go over to the lift spot. We shall see. Yeah, so he's just going to make the play back to... He's going to make the play back to Eastern to finish Armos Knights himself. Which will be a little interesting. asyx likely will get back to the main room just a little bit faster than Viper King will, but we're going to have a pretty close sync up here with for the Armos Knight fight. We'll see just how close here in a little bit. asyx finding a shovel, which I'm sure he didn't really want to see. Interesting, not even going to complete the dungeon from there.
Figured he's got to take a gamble. Maybe he thinks Viper is a little bit ahead of him right now and not taking that play.
Perhaps, or maybe just doing the item counting and not thinking about the fact that Armos Knights is still worth an item. Depends on exactly how he wanted to make, exactly how you play that. So one reason I find that interesting is the fact that because the lamp was so early, they know that that was a play that was available right from the start of the seed. But we are going to get the Swamp Palace play now, by the looks of it. Yes, we are.
Again, not a bad play. I would probably make this play myself, having 6 items in the dungeon. But always, you would like to, you don't have to full clear it, you know. Hope to not.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what his routing is. Swamp Palace is this interesting dungeon where everyone sort of thinks about it as sort of there's the go mode path and the non-go mode path. But the thing is that because of the fact that the big key can be in literally any location in the dungeon, including in the big chest, a lot of the routing is actually a gamble on where the big key is when you're not in go mode.
Very true.
So if we find the big key before we even make it to the big chest, you should do left mode and on go mode. But if you don't find it before you do the big chest... So, here, we already found the big key. We should see left side first, unless somehow... Well, yeah, we will see left side first. There's too many items left for him to suddenly decide not to do that.
And I missed what Sahashala has. I was looking at asyx screen, so I'm not sure.
I'm not sure anyone saw it because it looks like it froze on the main restream as well.
It was Vanilla Boots.
Well, so it was. Of course, that's how he's dashing.
So Eastern is a... Well, it might not be. Was Desert? We didn't get to see if Desert Palace was bootlock, so it might be required to do Eastern Palace.
Yep. Which would be all the more painful for asyx, given that he was already in the dungeon. And I say it doesn't even need to be boots. It doesn't even need to be specifically desert. If Viper King had found anything in those boots locations, it could have been the difference as well. So unfortunately, King's Tomb just having a piece of heart, so it's not part of the answer. But here come the bonk rocks. So if we see Bombos or Canis Samaria, no, we don't.
Well, it could be all the trolley if the big key is in fact on Torch in Ganon's Tower. I saw 2 seeds already today that had it. Why not go for the trifecta for the third?
It could happen. Using the mirror glitch, of course, to skip through the blocks there. Getting his hammer and red mail. Or in the case of Mega Man, apparently gold mail. Hookshot Cave. We will find our flute.
Yeah, things will finally start opening up for him, yeah.
On the back of Swamp, we have the Compass Map Room.
Good for asyx to do the left play like you said, because clearly getting those 2 items we're going to be like, okay, now I got to go left.
Yeah, There's the Bombos. We needed that. That's one more item closer to go mode. Does that give us Samaria for go mode, except for other than boots? Well, it puts it, or sorry, I should say, regardless, Samaria puts us into no mode.
Yes, yes, it does.
Because we know where boots are, we know where Fire Rod is. We have access to Desert Palace, which is one of those things that can actually sort of troll you for a long time. Hasn't been quite as bad in V29, but about V26, V27, it seemed like access to Desert was like the last thing you got for quite a while.
Alright, we'll get the Meyer check. We could have Vanilla Kane here. Other than that, all I could think of is probably Pendant Ice.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. With the Meyer check. Not too bad there in the damage room. Having Sorbians for part of it definitely helps get it fairly quick.
Oh, most definitely. Having soybeans in that room definitely helps out a lot.
As we go, checking the chest that almost everyone checks first. Seen this chest left to last every once in a while, and I'm not sure exactly how the case on that works. I don't know quite enough about the key logic, and of course, if it is the big key, it also is sort of a pain to leave it for very last, but because of how front-loaded that Meyer has to make itself with keys, just because of the potential key lock situations from all the key doors that lead to basically nowhere, Meyer has some very interesting logic in that it has to do to prevent key locks from misrouting. Nice hammer dash to pick up all the bombs there.
Absolutely, and Meyer is a pain. As long and as big as this dungeon is, it only has 2 items to use, so I'm sure checking it would be a, much easier situation. You get 1 item, maybe you can make a gamble.
Yeah, Meyer, one of these dungeons is much more interesting in key sanity because almost everything matters. Almost everything in the dungeon matters then. Viper King onto the Skull Woods play here by the looks of it. Looks like it. asyx deciding to set up everything before he even starts lighting the torches. Not a bad idea. It is worthy to note that if you set up the first room, you can do the second room before the first torches go out with optimal movement. I'm not sure how tight that window is, but definitely very possible.
It is possible. I believe it's not super tight, but tight enough if you get stuck on one of the blocks, it might not work. You just have to swing back and do it.
But not a huge time. I typically advise if you're familiar with how to do that, I would advise just going for it because it's a very straightforward thing to do. Viper, where are you going? There's no chest over here. There you go. You got this. Don't go in that room either. Do it. Ah, that's okay. Small key for a small key. Or he could just mirror out, but I don't think he's gonna do that.
Nah, he fell in from the big key vanilla spot, so...
Well, still could have saved a small key, but it's not like that matters a lot. asyx done with what he can of Mire. Did he check the map chest?
You know, I'm not sure.
Or I'm not sure which chest it is. It's off on the right side, but you know what chest I'm talking about in Mire, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm awful with which chests are which. Nice big key. Speaking of big keys, there's another big key. So, desert at least. So, desert not boots locked at all. Hello, Buttersword. The only way it could be boots locked is if the Cane of Samaria is on the torch, and that's not really boots locking Swamp itself, but boots locking progression.
Absolutely, I was thinking the same thing, so...
And it's just the compass. Viperking gonna go ahead and make the play to check the item under the bridge first. Just the compass. That's okay, their quick mirror will get him back to the start of the dungeon.
And Landmolus has our last item, so he'll make his way down.
Gib does need to die, apparently.
He's probably hoping for one of those full bomb, magic drops there.
Not as required when you got half magic, but definitely would have been nice to have it available for the moth fight as well. Does have to kill the Gibdo for the key. Just pulls out the fire rod for that job. Fight should be fairly trivial. He's got 3, 4, maybe even 5 fire rod shots in his magic bar, plus the tempered sword. Fire rod will mostly just be useful for trying to get Moth off the back wall, just like that. Fortunately, Moth still just decided to stick to the back wall anyways, even with his best efforts to get him off. Yeah, short on magic for another fire rod shot, but down goes Mothula. Well, thanks, I guess, for the quake.
I guess we needed to know where the last medallion was anyway.
Sure, yeah, totally needed that last medallion. You know, asyx, of course, just pulled out the silvers and demolished Landmola's. And we're gonna... He's... Oh, right. He don't want to save and quit from here regardless, but he's probably gonna flute somewhere as well. No real reason to save and quit after dungeon versus... But he is gonna save and quit. Whether he forgot he had the flute, or whether he's making some kind of play at the sanctuary. Interesting.
asyx realizing they didn't make the play up this way. Gonna do this before heading to Ice Palace, probably.
Yeah. Or we're gonna make... Maybe we'll make the right play. Are we going for the Smiths? Maybe this is still Ice Palace play? Yeah, it looks like it's still Ice Palace play. Probably would have been faster to just go back through the portal. But either way, this gets the job done. Let's find out what we got in hammer pegs. I don't think we wanted to pick up a chicken, but that's what we did anyways. Yeah, I don't think Viper King's going to say no to more health.
No, only having 11 hearts, get 12 heart could make the difference. So I would have done the same thing.
And we're finally getting the shovel check from asyx.
Shows how much the runners hate going into Pendant Ice Palace.
Yep. Or any number of things. This might have... I'm not quite sure. It's hard to say, because of course he still hasn't done the... He hasn't got his fire rod yet either. There's the Samaria!
Samaria. Gary was holding on to it for us.
So... The frog quest paying off huge with both of our big red magic items this seed. Fire rod on Smiths and the Samaria in the chest afterwards.
Which asyx looks like they're making the play now, so they should be getting those items shortly.
And that will put asyx into go mode. He of course could be knocked out of go mode if we find out that the big key is on Ganon's torch. But until then. And that's about Viper King's only hope for catching up at this point. Viper King doing a very good job of routing in a lot of checks after starting out so far behind with just delaying his Agon in play for a while. But definitely doing a good job of catching up. Finding that fire rod early, helping a decent amount there. We already have Bombos Raging Reynolds. Yeah, Boots is the there. We are 100% in like we are in 100% no mode, and asyx is in 95.5% go mode. There's nothing else that can. There's nothing else that can be a problem here because we don't need the ice rod. We could get ether if we needed it, but we don't because we know ether's on Lake Hylia Island. Bugnet was. I can't remember where Bugnet was. Was it Bonk Rocks or something? Anyways, not like Bugnet's needed for anything. asyx taking his go mode. Let's see if he goes right back to Meyer or where his play is. It is indeed Meyer. Not a huge difference in which crystal he goes to first. Both crystals requiring sort of just going to them each in order anyways. There might have been a slight advantage of going to Skullwoods first just for having full health immediately at the start of it. That was a nice damage boost by Viper King. Very unintended, but hey. Shot him across that room.
Anything you can take, you grab. As fast as you can get across.
Ooh, the sword beam's not quite hitting the one that he was going for. That's okay. Dealt with the room very, very nicely there. Getting some fire rod strats here. Oh, come on, you can do it. You can do it. I'd just charge a spin at this point. Spin will kill, but there we go. Got it down.
He figured he'd get a full refill afterwards anyway, so.
Yep. Spin just a little bit easier to time due to the fact that a spin lasts close to a full second. Yeah, okay, so asyx head skipped this chest initially. There's the big key. And now he doesn't have a small key, so he has to go the other way around to get into the big door.
Or he could have cycled through, because I think the key would have been in the big key's chest. I'm not sure which way would have been faster. This might be a quicker play.
I imagine this is probably quicker, because they both require going back to this room either way. The big center room. Although I guess he could have gone straight down. I'm forgetting where Bombos was. Was it in Pod as well?
It might have been.
Or was it in Swamp somewhere?
All these seeds are blending together.
Anyways, Viper King actually having the bow when he goes this way this time. Always a helpful item to have in here. And let's see if asyx can show off his, let's see how good asyx's silver strats are. Or are we going for something else? Nope, we're going for silver strats. Let's see the zero cycle, asyx, you can do it. That'll be close. That's good for the 0 cycle.
Alright, pulled it off.
Viper King about ready to find all of the small keys.
Not realizing that he's gonna need a small key to open the door down here, so that might save him a little bit.
Meanwhile, asyx on his way to the final crystal dungeon that he needs to complete this seed. Won't be too much of interest that happens in this Skullwoods play. I don't expect to see him open a single chest on the way. Nice job, Viper King, picking up the bomb to get it to that hole.
You know, I never would have thought to do that. I'm like, I'll just throw another bomb. So, heads up play by him. As trolly as this seed has been, these runners still can have a really decent time on their hands. Both probably going to get a sub 2 hour seed.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how Viper does it after his sort of whatever happened at the start there when he just sort of seemed to forget about egging him for a little while. On we go to the big chest. Again, I believe it was like 5 rupees. It was a big 20. Fair enough. Moth being a little bit nicer for asyx here, not just sitting in the top corner.
No, but a sword, few swings will get him down, which nice quick fight there.
And of course, now that we have completed all 7 crystals and we have everything else we need to make it up to Ganon's Tower, we are going to have everyone's favorite game. We are going to guess where the big key is, and we're going to see who's closest. Mostly just for bragging rights, but of course, if you are a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming channels or donate 250 bits, you can also be eligible for the leaderboard.
Where do you think it's going to be here today?
My answer, I just always go with a nice solid 8. Far enough in that it's not super easy, and also far enough in that your route choices can influence where it is fairly significantly. But also on conventional routing, just that fire bar room that, you know, I don't think anyone would really complain if we never had to go in there.
Absolutely. Last night I had number 20, so I don't want to wish a long GT on anybody, so I'm gonna go right behind you. I'm gonna go number 9.
Viper King not taking the damage boost there. You typically want to lose your sword beams there, just because otherwise you end up hitting the terrapins with your sword beams instead of your sword. Although he did a fairly good job of hitting with the sword instead of the sword beams there. So, you know, if you can make it work, you can make it work.
Absolutely. I always, at all costs, just try to at least get a half a heart down, because I know it's painful when you think you have it down and you don't.
Yeah, for sure. Well, everyone, let's see how nice Ganon's Tower wants to be today. Small key on 1, rupee on 2, and we're getting the right side play. Nice silver to take out Helmasaur real quick.
Yeah, especially as that fireball is literally probably a frame or two away from hitting him.
That spike may have trolled asyx enough to delay him from actually being able to finish this room this time through. And it has. Nice small magic pot on the Gibdo helping out there, though. Going a little low on health here, though. One more hit from anything will, or from most of the things around here, may cause asyx to take a death. Yeah, it's just going to use the red potion to not let that happen. And we get, oh look, the book.
Alright, not right side. Could
Nope.
it be on that pedestal and then need to get the boots?
On the torch, but yes, we know what you mean.
That's what I meant.
I'm like, what, the big, we're not in key sanity here. The big key can't be the pedestal. It is not.
Officially, boots not required.
Viper King probably not aware that the big chest has to have small key, and is gonna get a little frustrated with himself when he realizes he can't even enter that room. Because I don't understand otherwise why he'd be back here if he wasn't making the play to... for exactly that. Well, hi, Ice Rod. That's an interesting place for an Ice Rod to be.
Yeah, and the fireball and the fire snake room.
Yep. asyx, just use the cane or the bomb. That works too. And there's Viper King saying, "Oh yeah, small keys can key lock themselves." Because in the back of his mind, he'd gone, I need to go back to Thieves Town later because I didn't have the hammer when I was there the first time and didn't do the big chest. But the problem was, he never needed to go back in the first place. $14, $15, $16, $17. About as nice as it could have been overall.
Asyx trying to set up those mimics there.
Off we speed through the gauntlet. Viper King, of course, now making his way to Swamp Palace. Definitely what he needed to do.
And asyx, unfortunately, not having the boots, can't make that bonk over to get those safety fairies. I don't know how many potions he has. I think he has one blue goo at least. So
Yeah, I believe he has a blue and a green. And I'm not sure about the last one. Stalfo's trolling him as hard as it can.
that truly is the worst room in the gauntlet, I think.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on how well you can get the Stalfos to line up. There's sometimes where you just kill them all immediately. I'd say it's the most variable room. The ones with ice are like just awful. Like this one. Although granted, the fact there's only 2 of them and they typically don't live long enough to become a real pain in the butt makes this room a little bit nicer than this next one, where you never quite exactly know what you're gonna get. Sometimes it's that fast, and sometimes that Stalfos just doesn't want to get found.
Definitely, and those Beamos can really be so trolly at times.
Nice to clear out the Wizrobes there. Viper King, of course, just on his south side of Swamp Palace. This room can get a little bit interesting without the boots on occasion. You have to be a little bit careful with his magic here.
Yeah, it's going to be very precarious here. I'm probably only going to be able to light these once.
Should be okay from the 2 magic pots and having half magic. The magic pots, of course, each giving you enough for 2 shots of the fire, and I don't even know how many uses of the lamp. I would assume 8 uses, but I'm not sure. Either way, gets this far, gets the full magic pot refill, and gets a nice heart refill there as well. Not going to complain about that. Goes a little bit too far down and ends up not quite being on the conveyor belt. There we go.
Alright, let's go to Moldorn 2 here.
Can't fault him for not opening anything. There's not much he could find that would be of any use. Especially given that he just found that piece of heart that gave him a full health refill. There's, aside from another heart container, you're not finding anything else that's going to give you any more help. But he checks the last chest and finds 50 rupees.
Yeah, that's what the seed figured they give you for your troubles. Now this room by itself, without the boots, is horrendous.
Yeah, this room can get pretty silly. Got up the stairs, though. Not the most fun first Aga spawn there. See what you can do from here. Nice double there. Fortunately, getting hit there cost him just a couldn't quite swipe soon enough for that one. Nicely done. Not quite gonna work like that, Viper King. There you go, you got this. Meanwhile, asyx, of course, on his way to fight the pig.
And with half magic, with red mail, butter swords, silvers, let's see him kill him really fast. 6 slashes each phase.
Slight chance he takes a death if he's not super careful here, considering he is down at 5.5 hearts. Using Cape is going to eliminate most of that chance, though. Yeah, it's going to leave the Cape on until all the fire bats are gone, which with half magic you can afford to do. And there we go. Viper King finds Bombos and enters Go mode. I think that was him realizing he's in Go mode. Why, yes, we did find the silver arrow. How nice of you to ask. Ooh, misses the torch glitch. Won't be a huge deal, though, especially given that he's got silvers and half magic. I would still switch to the fire rod here, though. With the green potion left as well, no reason not to just use the fire rod to do this real quick. That should be good for a double. Ooh.
Just but one more shot here, and Ganon is down.
Yep. Into the fanfare.
Get your GGs in chat. Good race by him.
Welp, that just happened. Viper King off to his last dungeon of the seed. All right, Viper King heading into Meyer here. He has full health, so sword beams will be active for this to help him out with getting this room a little bit faster. I'm not sure how much hook shot helps with this overall speed there, but interesting strat to use there.
Viperking realized that he still needs to find the big key for that room there.
Yeah, definitely need the big key first, fortunately. All right. Charging his way down. And we have what joining us here, asyx, GG.
Hello, GG.
Well done, well done. How are you feeling after that?
A bit sweaty.
You like the Smith chain there? Was that a good
Yeah,
Smith chain?
it was a great relief, to be honest, to find both items, the last two items, after each other. So I was pretty happy there.
Yeah, but Viper King had an interesting start to the seed. For some reason, he sort of left out Aga for quite a while. Like, he full cleared everything and still wandered around for a little while after that. So I'm not quite sure if he forgot that Aga also gave Dark World access or what exactly happened there. But it was unfortunately slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah, that's too bad. I think I'm not sure what to say. I felt like Aga was the obvious choice after I was up and cleared Tower of Hera. Then there wasn't much else to do.
Yeah, pretty much. You had your fetch quests left.
Yeah.
Obviously, they ended up they didn't end up annoying you by actually being the right play, at least.
No.
That's always one good way to annoy yourself is go do them and then go, oh, I had the fetch quest that I could have done the whole time.
Yeah, that's I've been there, done that.
Well, and it could have happened this seed, but you know what? It ended up being the right play, and it worked out for you just fine.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I got really close to my PB this race, so I'm pretty happy how it went.
That's always good too, yeah. Yeah, because we were very. It was funny because it gave you pretty much all the fetch quests right off the bat.
Yeah, I was a bit tilted when I saw that. I wasn't sure if I should go after the fetch quests immediately or just run on, but I skipped them until they fit into my route, and it felt like I didn't miss that much, at least.
Yeah. Forgot the mushroom on the first time to catfish, though, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, that was. I got pissed about that.
Chat's like, why isn't he doing mushroom? And then he went back and immediately did mushroom. We're like, okay, well, he remembered.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, Viper King here on Meyer being his Gomo dungeon because he found the fire rod and fairly early on, so he'd already. Compared to you, anyways, found it much earlier on, so he was sort of full. So he found Bombos last.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which, of course, being locked behind flippers puts it fairly far down in the logic this seed, anyways.
Yeah, flippers. Got pretty happy when I found the flippers. At least that put me into clearing dungeons again. But I felt like my clear into Eastern Palace, I felt like when I was there after I cleared pod, I thought that was the right way to go.
Well, you're also going to be a little bit more disappointed. Do you want to know what the green pendant was?
Boots.
It was boots.
Damn it.
It was vanilla location green pendant for vanilla green pendant boots.
Oh well. That was maybe 10 minutes of my time.
So you lost. And overall, it probably would have even lost time to finish Armos and actually go get the Knights over not doing that anyways. So you're probably fairly even overall on time for or against. The only difference is you wouldn't have had that terror of seeing the torch, the Ganis Tower torch.
Yeah, I was a bit afraid of the ether room also. I wasn't sure about the path I had to take.
Okay, yeah. Fortunately, last chest before that.
Yeah, I didn't want to go out again and have to go through, go get it from Lake Hylia.
Well, and do you know the easy trick for how to deal with that? How to show that path?
Not without ether, no.
You can go up along. The entrance to the big chest room.
Yeah.
If you go up there, you can fire a fire rod shot along, light a torch that's at the other side. And
I haven't played vanilla, so that explains a bit, I think.
You could also always try the bomb jump. The bomb jump's pretty easy because it's not overly precise. It's only a one tile gap.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit different than just lighting the torch and literally seeing the entire path.
Yeah, so you used to using the boots there, so I was a bit afraid of it.
Yeah. But no, got to avoid that at least.
Yeah.
Aside from that, any other sort of notes you have on anything else you want to say about the seed there?
No, not really. Just hitting myself for not checking blacksmith and that chain before a bit earlier, and maybe now in afterthought just clearing out Eastern Palace. But hey, what can you do?
Well, yeah, exactly, and we were a little surprised to see you leave Eastern because of the fact that it would just be a minute and a half or so, probably from the big key chest to killing Armos with silvers.
Yeah. That was an error from my part, but it didn't hurt me any bit, so
exactly. No, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you want to stay till Viper King finishes. He's still in Mire. He's just fighting Vitreous right now.
I'm currently in the European time zone, so I need to get to bed soon.
That makes sense.
Very understandable.
It was a fantastic race. It was great watching their asyx, and you have a fantastic night.
Yeah, thank you. You also.
GG asyx. Good night.
GG.
Well, while Viper King is heading up to Galen's Tower, let's just do a couple other shoutouts here as well. If you are enjoying what you've watched here today, do consider, of course, giving the runners a follow.
Absolutely, they did a great job entertaining us here today. It takes a lot to put yourself on stream and entertain everybody in here. So Viperking2 and asyx, please follow them. That's how we feel appreciated with getting follows.
Also, of course, if you are enjoying the tourney in general, do consider following the ALTTP Randomizer. There are 4 of those channels to follow. 1 through 4, and of course, if you like this, and of course, plenty more will also be here on the speed gaming channels, as well as many other speed gaming or speed running tournaments on speed gaming 1 through 6. So, of course, consider giving all those channels a follow if you want to keep sort of up to date on what the latest is, both in this tournament and, of course, in a fair number of other speedrunning tournaments going on.
Yeah, it looks like we have still plenty of races here today, so if you're enjoying, there's at least another 5 or 6 races on all the given channels, so please, if you like what you're seeing, follow all the regular channels and enjoy yourselves with these.
Yeah, definitely. 8 o'clock, I think, has 3 races scheduled to start by itself. So, you know, there's lots of races on today. You've got a race starting pretty much every hour all the way through till 12:30 tonight. For anyone, of course, who does want to see the schedule, I'll just plop that in chat real quick, too. There's plenty of, lots and lots of random to go around. Viperking starting on the right side here. And will he do the right side dive? He will.
This is becoming more of the standard. If you get a key in this room, most of the time, as I say it, he goes to the left side. So
yeah, he just decides, nope, I'm going this way. Funny, back when I started watching Rando, the right side strat was actually just called EA strats, but now it's like it's just the right side play. Well, apparently we're smacking all the moles today.
he needs to get out a little frustration, I think.
Anyways, he won't be upset with this play. There was nothing to really get on the other side. He could have found the book. Ooh. At least I think the book was right side. He could have become literate before the race ended. There's a quick look at the map, just in case you didn't know what the first 4 rooms of Ganon's Tower looked like. The one disappointing part about him not picking up the book, neither player will fill up their Y item menu.
Yes, the one item shy.
Anyways, taking some warps, getting to the rando room. And now everyone's sad now everyone who guessed 13 is now sad that it wasn't Viperking doing this routing. There we go, Viper. Got it. Leftmost button on the second row. Oh, I lied. It's not 13. It's 12 for Viperking.
And just getting the fire shield for his troubles.
Yeah, the boots. Vanilla boots were pretty fantastic. Vanilla boots, they were as vanilla as they were getting this seed. Green pendant Eastern for boots off Sahasrara. Found a nice pixel there that didn't let manage to get underneath the fire blast while still being able to hit the mimics with the silver arrows. Time for the cannonball room. Nicely saving it.
Yeah,
Not bothering with the safety room, which I can't really blame him. He's only down 3.5 hearts.
Utilizing bombos.
We'll probably see that in every room for the next 4 rooms. Didn't realize that that's... I was wondering if that still had a slow animation on the Stalfos, and it does. Because the interesting thing about Stalfos is that with the fire rod, they just die immediately versus being burned. And there we go. 5 Bombo suit activations in a row. And the gauntlet is done.
Not bad at all, leaving you with a third of your magic bar, and I think he's got a green,
Come on,
goo.
come on, spin strat. Come on, spin strat, please? Please? No. So if you do a spin right off the start after you powder that anti-fairy, it can be very trivial to get... You can actually get a 1 cycle with just bold sword slashes. Very simply. As long as the RNG doesn't have any awful short hops for you anyways. That was close to a fall, but he managed it through, and fall wouldn't have really mattered that much, just going back to the staircase and then go right back in. Nicely done. The quick backup strat there. And somehow managing to not fall off. Never mind. Now the guard's just confused. The guard's like, I got him! Doesn't even know that we just ended up at the front of the room and just ran right past him anyways. Anyways, getting that fire rod shot real quick. Through the door. And hopefully not despawning the tower. Which, going this way, yeah, there we go. Tower not despawned. Success. Do need one more key. There it is. And are we done? Are we opening any other chests? We are. I had a feeling. That one's a piece of heart too. There's our refill.
Perfect.
And just for extra safety, we're gonna pick up 2 more fairies who are already at full health. And find another piece of heart. And then we'll take 3 hits from the Electro Ball.
Alright, Moldorm down. See if he checks this. He does. And we'll make our way to Agatu.
We'll see if he can make the boots strat here. All sorts of... Oh, well, the cape makes it too easy. That's like cheating. But, it's a legitimate strategy.
It's an item at his disposal, so why not use it?
He's just like, what do I even do? Oh, okay, we're getting Swaggin' 2. We've already had Swaggin' 1. It's time for Swaggin' 2, everyone. Oh geez, we're getting net dashes. That's how swaggy we're going. Look at that angle. That's how you do swag dashes, everyone.
That's how you do it.
Like, is this man like what? Come on? Oh, he missed the net dash. And now I'm behind the restream. I think no, I can't commentate this properly. What was? Boo! Sword for the last one. Boo! I don't know how you do like swagging him entirely with the net, then use the sword for the last one. Like, what are you doing, Viper King?
He was down to 3 hearts. He wanted to make sure he lived.
It's true. You don't want to do all of it again. You may know that your opponent's already finished. It doesn't matter. You still don't want to do all of Ganon's tower again.
Although he does have a fairy, but I'm pretty sure he wanted to save it for the Ganon fight.
Let's see if he can show off his Ganon strats. Let's see if he can do this without even using it. It's gonna be a little hard from this side, though. You're not gonna get the 1 cycle. Oh! Just gonna chug the red potion. Once he figures out what item he wants to have on. And that's enough slashes.
A couple for good measure.
Yep. Two hits. Three hits. And a fire bat to go along with it, just to make it a little bit more annoying. We're getting the torch glitch at 10. That's not going to connect, unfortunately. But there we go, first arrow. That might be good for a double, if he can go down. Okay, there we go, nice double. And there's the kill.
Nice fight by Viper there.
Unfortunately, don't have the official time for Viper King, but of course, around the 2:18:53 mark there.
Give you GGs, everyone. Viper King. We'll see if he wants to come in for commentary chat.
Give just a couple moments here. All right. And I know we just gave these shouts, but of course, once again, just as we're waiting to fill up some time here, do make sure you follow the Speed Gaming channels and the ALTTP Randomizer channels. They're going to be having lots more of this tournament on. Speed Gaming, of course, having many other tournaments on as well. And welcome GG,
Hello.
Viper King.
GG. How's it going?
How you
Pretty
feel
good.
after that?
Uh, this scene was a bit troll. Like, uh, at the start, I didn't think I would have to kill Agadem in order to freaking go even further.
Yeah, the Aghanim for Dark World access seemed to trip you up a little bit there.
A little, yes. And I was in a panic whenever I heard my notifications going off. I hope that my audio didn't capture on your guys'
No,
live stream.
seemed to be fine.
Okay, perfect.
But definitely, it seemed like it was definitely very solidly ran after you got through to Aghanim. You found the fire rod before asyx did, and it looked for a little bit like you might have a chance of catching up. He did, unfortunately, of course, do the smiths and such soon enough
exactly.
that it didn't give you a chance to get caught up, though.
Yeah. Like whenever I had the fire rod, I thought for sure I was like maybe at least maybe 10, like maybe 25 seconds ahead or something like that, but I guess not.
Yeah, no, asyx didn't even end up checking so asyx did the Dark World, did Aga 1 very quickly. He didn't check Agnes Cave. He didn't bother turning in any of the fetch quests before going in, so he did that fairly quickly and just hoped, correctly so, unfortunately for the play here, that of course that they didn't have the hammer or the Titan's mitts, and he was rewarded for that in the long run.
Right.
But no, GG for sure. It was very well played. Once you got your Dark World access, it was definitely looked like definitely got a second breath in you there.
Yeah. The one thing that I was trying to find was the hammer, because like without the hammer, I wouldn't be able to get the big chest and the Thieves Down, because I thought for sure that the Thieves Down big chest has the bombos.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw you go and try to break the lock with the hammer.
Yeah, but then I realized that I forgot that the keys can now go inside the big chests.
Yeah.
After when was it, the last patch, or
It was the last couple of versions. I'm not sure if it was V29 or if it was. I feel like it was V28, but
okay. Yeah, at least for this race, I managed to actually finish this race, because the first two I didn't even get a chance to get it done.
Right. Anyways, with that, I think with the change of palette there on our stream, I think we're getting asked to give it a quick wrap up there. So GG, great race there, Viper King, and hopefully you keep racing for the rest of the tournament here.
Oh yeah, I will, for sure.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see some good races at you in the future here then.
Thanks. Yep. All right. See you guys later.
Yep,
Later,
great one.
Viperking. Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up here, Spiffers?
Well, we'll give that our one last shout out. Thank you very much for commentating with me, Azrael Speed, and thank you to Wolflink for 0370 for tracking for us.
Absolutely. Remember, give our runners a follow if you haven't yet, if you liked what you're doing. This was great. It's my second commentary of the day. I believe you too. Today's actually my birthday, so I'm spending time with the community, which is fantastic. I really appreciate it, and I look forward for the rest of the tournament.
For sure. Everyone, thank you as well. Happy birthday. Everyone have a fantastic night, day, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are.
Yes. Good night, everybody.